Thursday, and you know what that means. Welcome to Max Wrestling 487. This is your captain speaking with the one we call El Jefe, Moses Marquez, here to discuss every single twist and swerve in pro wrestling.
Goddamn right, and there was a whole bunch of them. So coming up tonight, Drew McIntyre got punked in Scotland, and the internet won't stop talking about that. Speaking of the internet, something the internet won't stop talking about, Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Sick6 finally appear, and boy almighty did they set the internet on fire. Plus, the captain has a major announcement that relates to our next special event, Money Shot, coming up in just 2 weeks, and the King of the Mic tournament enters the semi-final rounds as the former Max Wrestling World Champion Cypher takes on the best tag team partner our brother could have, my man Beer. So make sure you subscribe right here on the YouTube /Max Wrestling. Follow us on all the SoundCloud, Spotify, all your podcast platforms. That's what I was looking for. And of course, check out the beautifully done website, maxwrestlingnet.weebly.com, for all the links and a whole bunch more.
Beautiful. And of course, I've been feeling shitty all week, so I am on the classic British medicine of Lucozade.
Oh, good God. What is that? What is that?
That is pure glucose.
Oh,
basically.
Rock and roll, baby. Rock and roll.
But I did manage to see Clash at the Castle. It was okay. Obviously, it didn't feel as big as last year because the venue was smaller. But
I don't understand why
very
people
much
are shitting on it.
No, it was very much showcasing the Scottish talent that WWE have.
Yes.
Felt great for Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, especially Alba Fire.
Yeah, big time.
I think that was the one title change I was most confident about. But I think I said last week I predicted they were going to put the titles on them before anything personal happened. It just felt like the right move. If any titles were going to change hands, it was going to be those two.
It was going to be that one for sure. Yeah, it worked out. Again, it worked out perfectly. Huge hometown pop. Of course, Bianca and Jade are fine. They'll be okay. They'll live. They'll live.
Jade has had a lot of shit.
Whole lot of shit.
Botches.
Hey,
but let's be a little bit fair. She wasn't the only one that suffered from those ropes. There was something wrong with those ropes.
Damian Priest, who's done the move that he does a bazillion and a half times, he fucked it up. And then literally at the end of the night, AJ's like, bro, these things are fucking loose. And they're like, oh, shit. It was just the fucking, curb your enthusiasm moment. Like, we caused all their botches. You're goddamn right you did.
Priest damn near lost his freaking ankle.
Fucking holy shit. This poor kid. But, I mean, good thing they're okay. Yes, they had real bad botches. I understand it. Whatever you call it, poor ring assembly, if you really want to be an a-hole. But, hey, this is a biz. This is the biz. This is what happens. This happens all the time.
I wonder if they have different crew for international shows, because
maybe
it's
certain guys
just
can't do the international travel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just funny how it happened on several the ropes obviously were a problem for several different people, because it was an ongoing problem all night. So it must have been the way they were set up or something. But
again,
nobody was injured.
Bad loose.
Yeah, nobody was injured, thankfully. The main event slapped.
Oh, dude, factuals. It was done perfectly too. Yeah. Again, as much as we're like, it's true, and he's gonna win. Oh my God! And I have seen at this point hundreds of TikTok reactions of live fans. Literally, one kid cried one kid cried, "I hate you, Punk," and another one screamed, "I fucking screw you, Punk, fucking screw." The whole everything. I was dying of laughter, but it's perfect. It was perfect.
I really didn't think that they were gonna do it with Punk because he's been the babyface in this whole feud, and if he did that in Scotland, they were gonna. To be fair, they weren't that hostile towards him. Like he was getting some cheers, strangely enough.
Okay,
Um,
a little bit.
but it makes sense for the story, and I can kind of see both sides. Like, when are they gonna get the chance to put a world title on Drew in Glasgow again? Probably never.
Never.
But at the same time, like I said, it made sense for the story for Punk to give him this ultimate fuck you, cost him the world title on home turf, and Drew is now kayfabe quit. I can't do this anymore.
That one still gets me. I'm still a little like, that motherfucker really quit. He really quit. Did he really quit, or did he really quit? Like, did he really quit? And I've been having this inner discussion with myself for weeks, and I'm loving the way he's playing it. Because then, like, you go on his fucking social media, and he's like playing with cats, and you're like, what the fuck? And we're like, this motherfucker really probably quit. I don't know. He's playing it up, but this is
Yeah.
he's what do they say in the biz? He's laying it on thick.
Yeah. Obviously Punk wasn't on Raw. He is going to be on SmackDown, which I think is in Chicago.
Jeez.
I would love for Punk to come out and just say something like, "What kind of loser quits on Raw?" But
that would be just awesome. He absolutely, you know what? That would, yep, do it. Totally do it. Just
Phil,
just
do it. You can
do it, Phil.
You can check me later.
We believe in you. Take the idea and run with it. Trust me.
Speaking of believe, I've seen like some. I think it was fucking Sportskeeda actually. Some rumor that Joe Hendry was going to attack Punk on SmackDown for some random reason. It was very, very, very nice to see Hendry on NXT. Yeah, I didn't watch NXT, but I did see the moment where Hendry came out.
So I had to go back and watch NXT, which, by the way, Beer's right. We are sleeping. If you ain't watching NXT, you need to get back on NXT. So they were having this battle royal. Everybody's coming in. You're like, you know what I mean? I think even Kazarian got in before him, or I think he came in before him. It's like, oh, holy shit, Kazarian, and then fucking Joe Hendry music. Everybody, I mean, granted, it's like 800 people. I don't give a shit. Every single one of them shit their pants because here comes Joe Hendry. They do the same entrance, the zoom on the face, the whole everything. It's perfect, and they all jump him, and they toss him out. So he's pissed. So in the fucking WWE video, he's pissed off, and he fucking he walks into the back and he tells fucking Sean that he's like, that's bullshit. He's like, and he's all, if you say my name, I'll show up on any show at any time. And Joe Hendry walks away, and Shawn Michaels is like, I believe. So I mean, at this point, we are in God, I've been saying it forever. We're in the territory days, baby. This is it. You know what I mean? You can't call it an invasion. The working contract with TNA is wide open. It's wide open. I can absolutely see Joe Hendry on a Friday Night SmackDown just cuz.
Yeah,
just because.
I think of wrestling more now as like an open world map.
Bingo. If AEW can do it with Forbidden Door and New Japan and some guys from CMLL, then the WWE should absolutely be able to do it with TNA, with All Japan, and whoever else they're getting ready to work with. Yeah.
And the thing is, Vince was dead set against this for years.
Years.
Nobody else can work with WWE. It's all about WWE. That's all that matters in the wrestling.
Because we're the top dog.
No other wrestling company matters, but Triple H opened the doors, Tony Khan opened the doors, and wrestling thrives.
TK,
okay, I got it the wrong way around.
This is where I'm going to give Paul all the credit real fast. TK opened that door. As beautifully I could put it, Paul took the sledgehammer to it and said, just fucking let him in. Just fucking let him in. And I mean, yes, it's not a goddamn giant flood. We're not seeing half of TNA's roster on the WWE, but it's who is Joe Hendry? Is he a world champion? Is he a digital media champion? Is he an X Division champion? He's a nothing. He's not a champion. He's just a really over guy. You know, it made a little more sense when it's the Knockouts champion being, hey,
Yeah.
fucking one of the other best women wrestlers in the world. Who the fuck is Joe Hendry? He's just fucking over. That's who he is. So then if you can bring this kid in who's over in the internet and then you start to trickle in some other guys, bada bing, bada boom. Now you can do the leakage going both ways. You know, your quote unquote mid card guys that you're not using, the guys chilling and catering, all of a sudden they've got a fucking big singles match on a fucking TNA pay-per-view, on an All Japan pay-per-view. Hell, all of a sudden Nick Nemeth and his brother fucking show up in a doppelganger mode and could take over NXT, could do something. I don't know, you know what I mean? The what's the fun saying right now? The possibilities are endless. But then again, we had this same excitement when AEW started with New Japan. But again, it's WWE is finally doing it. It's beyond refreshing, and it's because it's so new. It is that more refreshing.
Yeah, and it's unpredictable. You never really know who's going to show up next on what fucking show.
Absolutely.
This is the kind of wrestling world we wanted.
Hey,
like you go back to the Monday Night Wars. You never knew who was going to show up on Nitro, who was going to show up on Raw, who was leaving what company for what. Fucking Scott Hall showed up on 2 shows in one night.
Rick Rude.
And Rick Rude did. Was Scott Hall like a week apart or 2 something like that?
I want to say like 2 weeks apart.
Yeah. But yeah, Rick Rude was on 2 shows in one night. Then Scott Hall leaves WWE, shows up right on Nitro. This is the kind of stuff we strive for. Right. Thank you, Uncle Paul, for not being a demented, selfish old bastard like Vince.
Thanks for understanding the biz.
Yeah. What do you mean you're gonna let other companies come and work with us?
Yeah.
Shut up, go to prison.
Shut up, go to prison.
So yeah, but of course the main story from Raw, which we all knew was coming, and was executed. I chose that word very carefully, beautifully. Was the Wyatt Sick6 debut?
Oh God, it was again to turn around and make somebody go and watch at least an hour of of Monday Night Raw on a random Monday, whether you're trying to or not. It made me do it, and it is lit, as I said in the opening, it's lit the internet on fire, lit the TSK on fire. The ideas are running absolutely rampant. It was a perfectly done debut. We got to see all the characters. Everybody's here. Now the question is, how soon until something happens? What are they after? What is the idea? What's going to really happen? You're like, oh, good, they're here. Now what? As to where I'm looking, there's guys in the TSK that feel like maybe they shouldn't have a match for a good 3 or 4 months. Maybe just tease interrupting people for a while. And I kind of dig that. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, that's what the Wyatt family originally did. They didn't really have any matches at first. They were just more of fucking with people.
If I remember rightly, they debuted and attacked Kane in, I want to say June. And then, of course, Bray's first match was against Kane at SummerSlam. So, yeah, they did have a couple of months, a few weeks, something like that, where they were just showing up, doing crazy supernatural shit.
Hey.
But also the way they shot this debut, slowly revealing all the chaos. It was like something from a fucking zombie movie. And to see the gorilla position in that decaying state just trashed was kind of surreal. No doubts, of course, obviously we knew Bo was Uncle Howdy. No doubts Nikki Cross is the crazy little don't go near the witch in a zombie game character woman thing.
Whatever.
I don't know how to
Creepy lady.
describe them.
Right? No, I
Um,
don't either.
the the buzzard, I think, is Dexter Loomis.
I want to say one, yeah, Dexter Loomis. The other one was Joe Gacy,
Yeah,
and then it
and of
looks like
course
Eric
Rowan
Rowan as well.
with the hammer too from the Bludgeon Brothers. So not only paying tribute to Bray, but also paying tribute to Brody. Um,
Hey, all the love.
yeah, and that obviously those all the tributes is what made this debut that much more emotional. Not just the fact that they are carrying on Bray's ideas, paying
Mhm.
tribute to Luke Harper, but the fact that we've waited for it, we felt it building up, and um, it's Bo that's getting to carry on that legacy, like his actual, genuine, real brother.
Yeah, it's heartwarming. You know what I mean? It's a story carried on. You know, we all miss Bray. We all miss Brody, and it's or I'm sorry, that's not what's his real name? I'm trying to be nice here.
Oh, John
Wyndham
Huber.
and thank you. And so it's living on the legacies. You know what I mean? It's continuing onward. Yes, they're gimmicks, and yes, this is pro wrestling, but guess what? That's how it goes. And it's a good tribute to pay. You know what I mean? Now it's, and I don't want to be that critical, but I kind of have to be. How long until it gets boring? You know,
Mm,
I don't think it will immediately. You know what I mean? Again, I have to say this because I had still yet to get the VK taste out of my mouth when it comes to the WWE. It looks like Uncle Paul can do something good. Again, as you put the video leading up to them actually coming out was Jeremy Borash has his name written all over it. Looked just like something he would totally do all day long. And it was beautifully done. Again, it got the fucking attention of the entire internet. Pat McAfee's talking about it on his show on ESPN, for crying out loud. Like, that's how much attention this thing is getting. So I'm loving it. I don't want it to get stale. Again, I want to build a little more anticipation. Like, they're here, great.
mm,
Now what? You know what I mean? How far can we push the limits until somebody actually has to do something? And then
yeah,
which one is the first one to do something? You know what I mean? Who knows? Maybe they all don't have to wrestle. What if all of a sudden it's, Nikki Cross's crazy character? Maybe she's the one wrestling. Maybe it's a tag team of Dexter Loomis and Joe Gacy. Oh God, that's a crazy one.
yeah. And that, well, the fact that there's five of them now gives him a little bit more freedom to do different stuff and keep from getting stale, like you said. I think that's the main difference between this version of Uncle Howdy and the one we saw with Bray. I
Mhm.
also like that they changed his look a little bit. Like the original Uncle Howdy was a full face mask, and obviously you
Yeah,
couldn't actually see who it was, but we knew it was Bo, and we know it's Bo now. So they've kind of showed off his facial features a little bit more, just to say, yeah, it's Bo.
we
And to
know
be
you
honest,
know it. Oh,
he looks a lot more menacing with more facial features exposed.
I he put on a lot of weight. I'm not trying to say that in a negative way. I really truly think that, like, he was like, I have to try to be like my brother's size
Mm.
to try to be like this. I don't think he's got the gut. I'm not trying to be mean. I don't know. We can't tell yet. But I mean, and again, I'm not trying to be mean. I really do think like he's one of the he's a method actor. You know what I mean? He
Yeah,
took this role mad seriously, and it's working beautifully. I do love the adjusted look of Howdy too. You're right. I didn't really notice it at first, but yeah, no, more physical features of him, big beard, the whole everything. Again, anticipation is high.
yeah. And this time, uh, the whole gimmick suffered last time because Bray was going through some stuff, and we didn't get to see his full vision, and it kept like stalling, and it obviously it disappeared. Um, Hopefully they've spent more time preparing this time, and they know where they're going with it, because I still don't think we know where it was going the first time.
I fucking if I knew. Honestly, I didn't. It was just, it looked like it was, they were really trying to just extend the supernatural as far as you could. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it was like, okay, let's see where it goes. Because people were behind the Fiend, people are behind Bray Wyatt. We really wanted to make him, something, and
Mm.
Vince didn't have the same vision.
Yeah, and we don't really know exactly who or what kind of gimmick Uncle Howdy is. Is he voodoo? Is he supernatural? Is he a hacker? Because obviously they've been glitching into shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it could be a combination of all of these things. We obviously know what Nikki Cross can do with these crazy gimmicks.
Yeah. Again, she's gonna fit perfectly. Joe Gacy. Again, everyone they picked is a perfect fit for their role.
Yeah.
I'm just, again, I'm very curious on the big question mark is Bo. It is Bo. Like that's the one we have to be the question mark of because we go from Bo Dallas in NXT, which was like I guess just like a fighter dude. I really don't remember. I just remember him in a leather vest and a fucking glove, knocking people out. That's all I remember.
Oh,
He was
was
not
that?
Bo Leave until the very end of his run, where he was showing up on WWE on the main roster, and then
Yeah.
he was Mr. Bo Leave.
Yeah, and then he got to the main roster and he became the social outcast with
Mm-hmm.
Curtis Axel. Um, that's the thing with Bo is when he gets a gimmick, he goes like all in into
He
it.
does, that's again. But again, now my question, I guess my question is, and I have to be that guy because again, this is a wrestling product. Has he gotten any better in the ring?
I mean, I always liked Bo. Um, he was NXT champion when I first got into NXT, and one of his like when I first saw him, I was like, how is this guy champion?
Mhm.
Because he was this high pitched, kind of nerdy, scrawny looking dude.
Mhm.
But then I think his first match I saw was his ladder match with Neville, and Neville won it, and I saw the hype. I could see why he was a heel NXT champion because in the ring he can go.
Yeah.
He has that look where you underestimate him, and now very much like Jack Perry, he's kind of evolved. He looks a little more rugged, a little bit more badass. He's stocked up a little bit. He's grown out the beard. So I'm interested.
Interesting. Hell yeah. Well, again, when your dad is Mike Rotunda, I'm hella interested too.
And yeah, he's got a great collection of crazy characters around him, played by people with plenty of experience playing crazy characters. So
Oh yeah.
we're in for a
Fuck
fun
yeah.
ride.
Yeah, exactly. Buckle in, baby. We can't wait for Halloween to show up too.
Oh jeez. And speaking of the fun stuff, let's move into the fun stuff because some people think a crowbar is a place where birds get drunk. And as a result, this is shit Mark say.
You guys are fucking dumb.
I'm gonna tweet me and my friend Mark, we're gonna stop watching.
You're a whiny bitch.
What we got first? Okay, first one is a reply to Jobber Nation, who is a Mark anyway, so I'm not going to go into that because I don't even know what the actual original tweet was. But CC says AEW isn't larger than life. The roster is super generic. It's like I'm watching an actual sport. They all look like typical athletes and not superstars. WWE is a perfect combination of sports entertainment. That's the point. AEW is supposed to be presented like an actual sport. That's what they tried to do. Whereas WWE try to be sports entertainment. Maybe a little bit more wrestling focused now onto Triple H, but it's still very much sports entertainment. So if it's like you're watching an actual sport, that means they're doing the job they set out to do.
Didn't Vince go on national television and tell motherfuckers this is not professional wrestling,
I'm
this
not in
is
the pro
sports
wrestling
entertainment?
business.
Exactly. Yeah. So okay, and as you said perfectly, AEW does not want to be looked at in the sports entertainment realm. They are professional wrestling, and to professional wrestlers, this is a sport. In Japan, in China, in Australia, they consider this a sport. This is a sport to them, and they
Mm.
take it seriously. So I mean, first off, the not larger than life thing. I think you're full of shit on that one, because in all reality, I feel like they are. They're just maybe because they don't get graphics. You know what I mean? Pop up. There's not a pop upable. giant Roman standing over Roman as he comes out. You know what I mean? Or
Fucking hate the CGI graphics.
Can you imagine like a giant John Moxley as John Moxley came out? You know how fucking ridiculous that would look? Because again, we're talking about AEW. We're talking about something that we're trying to take as a sport. So if you try to compare and contrast, if you take the fucking side of WWE and you add it to AEW, it just doesn't add up because it's not the same product. It's not. And again, there's a difference between larger than life stars because they're overly glossed by enhancements, effects, and God only knows what. And then there's very well-known, top-quality wrestlers that have a household name. John Moxley is a household name. The Young Bucks are a household name. Kenny Omega, MJF, Jack Perry at this point. And believe it or not, yes, I say this, I gauge a good majority of it on people that don't watch wrestling on a regular. When you can recognize somebody, they're a household name. If my wife can be like, holy shit, that's Jack Perry. What happened to him? He got big. What happened? He went to Japan. Oh, that was a good idea. All of a sudden, guess what, bro? Jack Perry is a big name. She knows Kenny Omega. She knows the Bucks. She knows B-Dry. She has an idea. And again, this is not somebody who watches on a reg. So your idea of a star and a superstar are in the same aspect. But again, throw the glitz and glamour away, and it's the same fucking thing. But nope, it has to be over the top. My God.
I'm guessing CC hasn't seen Jericho's Learning Tree or Dalton Castle. You telling me that's like watching an actual sport?
Like, okay, yeah, I'm about to say, you want over the top? You want giant flamboyant stars? Yeah, go look at fucking Dalton Castle and the boys.
The guy comes out with 4 half-naked men dressed like flamingos.
How you doing? It's not gay. I don't think of it that way.
Oh, yeah.
Peacock, you gotta let him fly.
Oh, man, with my voice like this, I could probably actually do a decent Dalton Castle impression, but I'm not going to try.
Don't do it.
All right, moving on to Tape. Nice name. Tape Machines. You got a cute little blue tick, too. Okay, still don't know you. Says, I don't think WWE should let a group of murderers back on the show next week, honestly.
I beg your pardon?
Does somebody want to tell Tape that it's kayfabe?
Oh, the fucking Wyatt. Oh, my God.
I assume he's talking about the Wyatt 6. I don't know of any criminals that are coming back on the show.
There's guys like Pedro Morales and other folk that are in the WWE Hall of Fame for killing a man. Talk about murderers. Hey, the fucking gimmick. And by the way, does that mean Chad Gable's really dead? Is he really dead?
Yeah, I meant to say he got shot in the head. Or it looked like he got shot in the head.
Looks like he got shot in the head, because goddamn.
I can't wait to see how they explain that one.
He's an Olympic hero. He can survive bullet wounds. I don't know.
Yeah, so either this guy is being sarcastic or doesn't understand that it's made up. But somebody replied, Jimmy Snuka worked there until like 2009. It's fine.
I'm going to hell for laughing at that, but that's... If it's sarcasm, there we go. All the sarcasm in the world, but good God.
I pray that tweet is sarcasm.
Same.
Because nobody's really dead.
Nobody could really be that dumb either. Please don't be that dumb.
Well, you say that. The next one. FTTB, Big C World. Okay, you got too many. You can't pick a letter or something. Anyway, says WWE is going to do for TNA what AEW couldn't. Get them over. Now, I'm not saying AEW and TNA's relationship was perfect. It had its faults. But absolutely. Remind me, did Jordan Grace win on Battleground? Did Joe Hendry make it more than 2 minutes in that Battle Royal?
No,
they're happy to bring in these TNA people, but are they actually doing anything with them?
No, and I mean, and who did? What was homegirl on the TNA show? It was just something like NXT mid card girl, if I'm not mistaken, that showed up.
Oh, Tatum Paxley.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably downplaying the fuck out of her, but I don't. She ain't no top stars as far as I can. As far as I am concerned. I mean, again, it is NXT, so that's a whole beer situation. But it's the same. It's the same thing. Kenny Omega again. I can praise it because it's Kenny Omega, the guy's back there. But again, Kenny Omega was the belt collector. He had their belt. He main evented one of their pay-per-views, their highest bought pay-per-view. He helped bring them their highest number on television. TNA talent did show up on AEW television. I don't think anybody actually lost on AEW. Well, no, they all lost on AEW television. Who am I kidding? But it was pretty much a similar situation. But the one thing I can say is, and again, I'm gonna probably stick with that. It's a similar situation. It's not nobody's doing any worse for this company, because the reality is TNA was that hushed company. You don't talk about TNA, or you don't talk about Impact. You don't talk about Impact. In comes Kenny Omega. Hey, you guys watched Impact? I mean, Impact's not too bad. Yes, their working contract or working partnership, whatever have you, kind of just dissolved out of nowhere, and then it's that's still just Impact. But we're talking about Impact. Kenny Omega and AEW helped you talk about Impact, and then talking about Impact led you to continue to talk about Impact as they continue to go. Then there was the multiverse shows that happened over I want to say the winter and over WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah,
shit like that, and then all of a sudden, now Triple H is in charge, and hey, look, TNA is back. It's not Impact anymore. Now it's TNA. Well, we got some of their dudes, and this is, what, fuck it, I kind of want to open the door. Let's do this. And the first one and only one they brought in was Jordynne Grace. And I'm sure it's because they're targeting her. You know what I mean? They'd love to sign her at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And then it happens again. And now it's just Joe Hendry. So again, in retrospect, nobody won a belt in TNA. You know what I mean? So you're not taking a big star from WWE and putting him over there like AEW did. AEW took their world champion, and sent him to Impact to be world champion as well. To take your main guy to send him to another show to be a main guy there. WWE is taking people from NXT and sending one over. Taking in guys to lose in battle royals. Again, a battle royal spot, not a main event spot. So I will weigh it out that it's probably a little more AEW, but I'll say they're equal. Just to be the nice guy.
Just to be the nice guy, yeah.
Just to be nice.
Yeah, like you said, Kenny got them record high ratings. Pay-per-view buy was through the roof for Kenny's match with Rich Swann. Now, last week's NXT numbers, so this is how much TNA numbers, this is how much they benefited from NXT, did 92,000 and was 127 on cable. I'm not saying NXT is to blame for not giving them enough exposure. The network sucks that TNA is on.
Yeah, no, I mean, because they're on Access, and I've always made the joke, nobody got no access to Access.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to pay for a whole fucking weird package on that shit. Even if you do like one of these like digital cable things here in the States, where you do like an internet kind of cable thing, like I do with DirecTV, but even that costs, because you have to buy this ginormous pack. Nobody want to pay $120 a month just to watch fucking Impact. And I'm not being mean to Impact. I like Impact, okay, or TNA, excuse me. I do want to watch more TNA if I could, but again, we're going out of our way still. But here's the one thing: you said 90,000+ because NXT's help. Kenny got him over 100,000.
Yeah. I hate to be that guy, but even Rampage gets more than that.
Yeah, well.
And Rampage is a 1-hour show in a graveyard slot.
And a lot of Jahoob matches.
Yeah.
Normally. Not this last
So, yeah, no, I don't think WWE is doing better for TNA than AEW is doing for TNA. I think both of them have, given TNA exposure in different ways. but
Yeah.
TNA still is not really thriving from it.
They're still not even the third brand. They're still the fourth.
If anything, I think TNA had more exposure when they were about to rebrand as TNA, and Scott D'Amore was still running the show.
Yes, because everybody was getting behind Scott D'Amore because Scott D'Amore was putting together good stuff,
And then you
all
pull
of a
the
sudden
plug
they outed
after like a week,
jackasses.
and everybody's like, "Well, if Anthem don't care, why should we care?"
You know what? And that's exactly that. That's a good way of putting that because that's how I'm sure a lot of people felt. I know that's how I felt because it was again that's not 100 entirely true because again I do want to watch TNA, but it definitely took its wind out of its sails.
Yeah.
You had a guy that everybody could totally get behind as far as a booker, especially again for a low rate company. For a low rate company, for a not WWE, for a not AEW, for a not a New Japan affiliate, for fucking TNA, the once bad tasting company in your mouth has now gotten better, and you take the one thing that really pushed it over that edge, which was Scott D'Amore. You got rid of him. And the cry of the wrestlers was so loud. That's like, dude, if that doesn't say this is our fucking guy and you guys fucked up, I don't know what else would. I mean, really? See, I mean, again, I'm not, as funny as I'm trying to be, at the same time, it's like, these guys are literally telling you, this is our guy, and you're like, we don't fucking care. No shit, you don't care.
Anthem are tone deaf.
It's ridiculous.
And that's all I got. That's those are marks, and that's the shit they say.
You guys suck.
Now, we're going to save you from all the dreadful dirt sheets. I think I've only got 2 this week, but man, they are belters. We're going to save you from the dreadful dirt sheets one clickbait at a time. Join us as we cut the kayfabe.
Cut it on.
And Tony?
Yeah.
Cut the shit.
That's bullshit.
The first one Sportskeeda put out is
God.
ex-WWE superstar retires at only 32 years old, has said goodbye. The ex-WWE superstars in question are Charlie Morgan and Jetta.
Who?
They previously wrestled a few matches in NXT UK. I would hardly call them ex-WWE superstars.
Hold on. This goes back. I don't mean to cut you up, but this goes back to these fucking jerk offs on the fucking goddamn Twitter. They're all over the top superstars. You see what you do there, Sportskeeda? You fucking make jerk offs like this. Think everybody's a fucking star. Who? Some jahoobs from fucking NXT UK. Did no disrespect to the NXT UK folk, but some jahoobs. Like you're making a big old dude. You guys are reaching. Is it like? Do you guys get paid by the story? Is that what this is? Because I'm telling you, bro, they're coming out with some shit.
I think they feed these articles into AI and then generate the headlines from that.
Yeah.
Because
I'm about to say it does have ChatGPT written all over it.
AI would just scan this article and just see the words WWE and go, ooh, ex-WWE stars.
Yep.
Or
knowing them in their article, they're calling them WWE superstars. Or would be, even paraphrasing, would be WWE superstars or whatever, and AI is going to be like, big word, superstars.
Yeah.
Like, you fucked
WWE,
yourself.
I know that word.
I know that word.
So, I mean, no disrespect to these two ladies. They're actually married. And they both retired at the same time. They've been working on the indies for what is it, Eve? Pro Wrestling Eve.
Mm-hmm.
So they had their last match last week. But the whole joke about this post is that referring to them as ex-WWE superstars. Or actually, think of just one of them, Charlie Morgan, wrestled in NXT UK. She faced Toni Storm at one point for the UK title.
I'm going to say the name does sound a tad familiar.
Yeah.
But just barely.
But the clickbait from the headline. That's what we hate about Sportskeeda.
Yep.
And
hate it.
This next one's even better.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's the same writer. Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, fuck
You just
hell.
love AI headlines, Arnie Ban.
This motherfucker is making all the money off of ChatGPT.
So the headline is WWE legend confirms he's retired. Will never wrestle again. Quote, I'm done. Now wait till I tell you who it is.
Okay,
The legend in question.
So hold on. Before we even go, no, because I want the folks to understand where my brain is at real fast. So we're talking about a legend. So I'm thinking this guy's got to be in his he's older than Ric Flair kind of shiz. All right, so this guy's a legend. He's done some shit. He's retired from the biz. Go ahead.
The legend in question is 74-year-old Dutch Mantel, who hasn't even wrestled in fucking years.
Dutchman? I don't remember the last time Dutch Mantel took a bump.
Did he even take a bump when he was Zeb Coulter?
No. Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Oh, he did?
But it was out of that chair, so I don't know how that really counts as a bump. But that's the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, you have to understand, dude, Zeb Coulter was in the biz since the fucking 70s, fam. Since the fucking 70s. And you're all of a sudden calling him a fucking legend wrestler? A fucking, I don't even remember the last time he wrestled. I really don't. I'm trying to think back all the way back in the archives in the 70s. Again, he was on the road with fucking Bruiser Brody the day he was murdered. He worked the territories in NWA and AWA.
I think he didn't wrestle as Zeb Coulter, I don't think, at all. But I think his last match
it would have been
was in Puerto Rico in 2012. 2012. So you're telling me he hasn't wrestled for 12 years?
At least
now you're
12
telling
years.
Me he's retired. He's never wrestling again.
No shit. No shit. You said he was 70 what?
74.
Get the fuck out of here. Not everybody's Rick goddamn Flair want to wrestle at 99 years old. God, what the fuck? What the fuck?
It's just like we needed confirmation that Dutch Mantel was never going to wrestle again. But this is something that Sportskeeda just took and ran with it, because all he was doing really was responding to a clip that he posted of him and Del Rio beating somebody up. And somebody asked, "Are you ever going to wrestle again?" And Dutch said, "Nope, I'm done. Lock the doors, turn out the lights, party's over." Yeah, we know.
We know. Here's the fucking crazy thing. You had to fucking search when this guy last wrestled. And again, it was in fucking Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. So in WWE, he was not known. He was known as a manager. And in most of his NWA run, he was known as a fucking manager. So, what the fuck? I thought he retired forever ago when he was in a goddamn fucking gimmick with fucking, We the People. But according to Sportskeeda, this motherfucker just retired today. Fuck out of here.
He was in hospital last year for a sepsis infection. And I just love the last line of this article. To sum it up, it says, "Thankfully, the star is in better health now, but the legend has decided that he will never wrestle again after stepping away from the ring." He decided a long time ago, bub.
Yeah, a long fucking time ago. Jesus Christ.
Can you see, people, why we hate Sportskeeda?
Oh, you guys are I want a job at Sportskeeda. Sportskeeda, I want a job. I promise you, I come up with the best AI shit you ever seen. I can help.
Yeah, I could spend hours going through just this one guy posting shit.
One guy. Oh Lord, what's this fucking nerd's name?
Anirban Banerjee has been building Sportskeeda's WWE section for the past 7 years. Well, that would explain why Sportskeeda sucks so much.
Banerjee. All right, Banerjee. You got points coming your way, motherfucker.
All right, thankfully, we are moving on from all the nerds on the internet. Jeez Louise.
People get the wrong impression about Max Wrestling Podcast. We're a non-violent form of entertainment. We never use sex to enhance our image. As podcasters, we understand the importance of being positive role models. We're wholesome, family, entertainment.
You son of a bitch!
A 40-year-old fucking virgin.
Oh, you fucking did.
We're trying to make the world a better place for mankind.
Max Wrestling has a new attitude.
Get it?
Then it's probably not for you to get.
Welcome back to the Cap'n Mo Show. This is your captain speaking. Make sure you're liking and subscribed on YouTube. Follow us everywhere, and for all the information that you need, go to maxwrestlingnet.weebly.com.
If you're clicking that website, do it. Still to come, the captain has a major announcement, and we recapped last night on Dynamite. But before we do all that, we got to recap everything else. So let's kick it off with some Total Impact in 3, 2, 1. We need Scott D'Amore.
Impact in 3, 2, 1.
So let's recap last Friday's TNA Against All Odds. We kicked off on the pre-show as Sami Callihan defeated Jonathan Gresham with a Cactus Driver 97 as Kushida returned, attacking Gresham behind the referee's back. The Knockouts tag team titles were on the line as Militia defeated the Hex to retain with a double team Bulldog. Steve Macklin and Mike Santana defeated the Rascals with a spin the block as Santana and Macklin shook hands after the match. PCO defeated Rich Swann with a PCO assault for the win, and after the match, Steph DeLander answered PCO's love letter and will go on a date with him. The System defended the World Tag Team titles against the Nemeth Brothers as Eddie Edwards hit a Boston Knee Party following a surprising assist from Dirty Dango. Has he joined the System? Jordan Grace is shown getting stitches after she got her ear piercing ripped out at NXT Battleground. Frankie Kazarian defeated Joe Hendry with a belly-to-back suplex as he landed on top of him. However, instant replay showed that Kazarian loaded his fist with a weapon and hit Hendry during the suplex. Kazarian then attacked Hendry and locked him in chicken wing. Ace Steel came out and confronted Kazarian, and Kazarian shoved Steel, who dropped him with one single punch. You should know not to provoke Ace Steel. He bites. Mustafa Ali defeated Trent Seven to retain the X Division Championship with a 450 splash onto Seven's legs and made him tap out to a sharpshooter. Backstage, Santino Marella announced that Kazarian will face Ace Steel in a Chicago street fight on Impact. ABC defeated Josh Alexander and Eric Young as ABC hit a fold. Jordan Grace's open challenge was answered by NXT's Tatum Paxley, but Grace hit the Juggernaut Driver to retain the Knockouts Championship. Ash by Elegance attacked Grace after the match, but got dumped with a spinebuster and some champagne dumped on her. And in the main event, a Broken Rules match for the TNA World Championship, Moose defeated Broken Matt Hardy as Rebecca tried to help Matt, but accidentally got sent through a table with a spear. Moose then hit a spear on Matt, and the System attacked Matt Hardy after the match. Nick and Ryan Nemeth tried to make the save, but the numbers were just too much. Joe Hendry also tried to make the save and brawled with Moose, but again, the numbers overwhelmed him, until the charismatic enigma, Jeff Hardy, made his TNA return and cleans house with a chair, hits a swanton bomb, and stands tall with Matt, Hendry, and the Nemeth brothers. And since we recapped Clash at the Castle and the Fallout, we're jumping straight into AEW as Moses kicks us off with the Rampage Report.
This is Rampage, baby. This is the show that y'all believe in. Adrenaline pumping your chest. This is Rampage.
Wyatt. All right, let's hop into this week's Rampage report. That music didn't match the music, but let's get into the Rampage report. Toni Storm in a very good, very extended match against Alex Windsor. She picks up the dub with the Storm 0, giving the Jehoob a little bit of time. I love it. We also had another really good one. The Cage of Agony, actually, believe it or not, I enjoyed it. In a squash match, shut down a trio of some nerds. I think it was Solomon Tupu, Jay Martson. I'm going to call you that, son. And Kevin Gutierrez. You got to get those brother ones right. As the TSK said, maybe Brian Cage is better off without the Cages of Agony. Maybe he needs to be uncaged. I don't know. Onward and onward. As Daddy Magic said, this was a match. Shooter Umino versus Rocky Romero. Shooter wins with a running uppercut. Absolute clinical match put on for the folks out there looking real New Japan. If y'all don't see it, you get to see it right here on Rampage. Great match. And then, of course, Saddam Singh comes out, fucking bear hugs a nerd, choke slams him, whatever have you. It was just, as I say with Jeff Jarrett, get this guy off my television. And then in the main event, another very, very good match. TK is obviously watching the Rampage reports now that I'm back on them, and I appreciate you for it there, TK, because we got quality this week. We got quality. Pac finally picks up a dub against Jay Lethal in what was actually a very, very good main event. He wins with the Brutalizer, hoping to catch a little momentum going into Forbidden Door. So that was part one of this week's AEW coverage. So now I will be back for your Dynamite coverage. Now I'm going to send it on over to the captain so he can get on that collision course. Watch out for that thing over there.
On to last week's Collision, which of course kicked off with Christian Cage welcoming everyone to the 1 year anniversary of Collision and running down all the great things he's done on the show over the past year. Who really can argue with Christian on that one? We opened in the first match with the Blackpool Combat Club defeating TMDK, Lio Rush and Rocky Romero as Moxley hits Lio Rush with a Death Rider. After the match, Mox addresses his upcoming challenger, the one and only Tetsuya Naito. The Acclaimed then addressed their ongoing issues with the Young Bucks. Caster says they usually come out and do the rap about do some punchlines, but today the Young Bucks issued them a $5,000 fine for disparaging remarks. Caster then says the EVPs are out of touch with the AEW fans. Following this, Brandon Cutler interrupted, but of course Christopher Daniels is also in power now and came out to say that Tony Khan has reversed their fines and given them back their money. Deonna Purrazzo defeated Thunder Rosa in a no disqualification match, locking her in the Venus de Milo until the referee stops the match due to Rosa being knocked out. Hechicero defeated Dalton Castle with a twisted standing leg drop, and after the match, Hechicero and Gates of Agony attacked Dalton Castle and the boys before Daniel Garcia and Daddy Magic made the save with steel chairs. Christian Cage's Father's Day celebrations. Christian declared AEW to be his company now and says that he is the biggest signing in the company's history. Cage then tells Tony Khan that he is his father now. Dante Martin defeated Lee Moriarty in a TNT ladder match qualifier with a frog splash. Following the match, Shane Taylor Promotions attacked Dante. Darius Martin and Action Andretti came out to make the save, but they also got taken down, and Lio Rush hit the ring to clear out Shane Taylor Promotions all by himself. And finally, Kyle O'Reilly defeated Anthony Hendry with a cross arm breaker. House of Black defeated Juice Robinson and the Guns in a non-title match, and Buddy Matthews was injured during the match before being taken to the back. Pac comes out and distracts Bullet Club Gold as Malachi hits the end. The Patriarchy then appears on the Tron after the match. Christian Cage congratulates them on becoming number one contenders for the AEW Trios titles. However, they're no longer a trio, because at Christian's feet is the one and only Buddy Matthews, who has been hit with a concerto. And now, as beer has been focused on the King of the Mic, there's no NXT round this week, so we're keeping it with AEW. Let's talk about last night on Dynamite.
Last night.
All right, so let's get to last night on Dynamite, and actually a pretty darn good episode, if I do say so myself. MJF and Roosh put on a hell of an opener that went all no commercials. MJF picks up the dub with a teardrop fucking brainbuster, which was out of nowhere, by the way. I did not expect him to win with a brainbuster. And it might be his new finisher. I would love for it to be his new finisher. Brian Cage of the Gates of Agony and Hechicero appear up on the screen after the match. Cage announces that by order of the Elite, aka his best buddies, the Young Bucks, Hechicero will take on MJF at Forbidden Door. A little bit of a lackluster match, lackluster, but also should still be a banger. Hechicero is no joke. Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, and Dante Martin are all backstage, and this is always primetime promo stuff right here with Renee Paquette. Mark Briscoe addresses his loss last week before Jack Perry walks in and Briscoe tells him to get out of there. And then, of course, Renee asks Cassidy how he's feeling. He gives her a friendship bracelet. He's doing all right. Orange is healing. Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland come face to face. They both claim to be the best wrestler in the world. Ospreay says he doesn't need Don Callis or the family, and he can do this by himself with whatever move he chooses to use. Swerve reminds him that this is his first pay-per-view main event before mentioning Ospreay's family. As Prince Nana tries to calm things down, they both end up screaming in each other's faces. It's a super, super heated argument. He's, don't ever mention my son again, bruv. That's how you know shit got for real fast. Backstage, Trent Beretta is upset about what Ospreay said. Don Callis says that he knows Ospreay better than anyone, and there's nothing to worry about. Yeah. Obviously, cooling down the whole situation. But you see more Don Callis later. So Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, Dante Martin, 4-on-4 match against Tenochtitlan Kesta, Kyle Fletcher, Zack Sabre Jr., and Roderick Strong. Very, 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 very fun match for no good goddamn reason. A bunch of dudes kicking ass. Orange Cassidy hits Roderick Strong with an orange punch and picks up the dub. After the match, Jack Perry attacks Dante Martin on the stage, drags him to the back to continue to beat him. Briscoe and Takeshita fight all the way backstage as well because, that's where the brawls happen, all the way backstage. And Orange Cassidy and Zack Sabre Jr. have a little bit of a stare down in the ring. I think they have a match at Forbidden Door. Yeah. So that should bang for no good goddamn reason other than Orange is awesome, and so is Zack Sabre Jr. So Roosh is very angry backstage about his loss, and that's when Don Callis shows up and pretty much tells him that, I understand your pain. So makes him even more upset. Or no, not more upset. He's just frustrated. But in reality, Don Callis is looking to, I guess, add some luchadors to the family. Wants to add a little spice to the salsa. This should be good. He needs a mouthpiece. I love Roosh to death, but he does absolutely need a mouthpiece. Yeah. Before the Eliminator match, the Young Bucks and the Acclaimed, Kazuchika. This is beautiful. So the Acclaimed are coming out, and we're all waiting for Max Caster to do his rap, and he literally gets to his second listen, and then all of a sudden the mic just cuts, but the music's still playing, so people are thinking, oh, what the hell? Nobody knows. All of a sudden, Okada with the headset is just pushing buttons. Just a fucking, looks like Shawn Michaels in the back, not knowing how to type on the keyboard. Just some fucking jahoob. Oh no, I lost the sound. I'm so sorry. Bitch. The greatest thing, somebody mentioned something on the internet that 6-star Okada or 7-star Okada has been relegated to this. And I wouldn't say relegated. I would just say they are taking what Americans would love and are emphasizing it. And at the same time, he has not changed about how good of a wrestler he is. So he's adding to his personality. I abso-fucking-lutely love all this shit from Okada. Continue it, please, and thank you. Shockingly, though, the Acclaim pick up the win against the Young Bucks in an AEW tag team eliminator match after Nicholas accidentally hits Matthew with the tag team belt. Bowen then capitalizes on Matthew, but with the arrival, followed by the mic drop, and they will probably get a match likely at Forbidden Door, or maybe even next week for the tag team title. So super good move for the Acclaim. They could be looking at being 2-time champs. Samoa Joe and Hook try to jump the premier athletes in their locker room, but they aren't there. They have a letter from Smart Mark Sterling challenging them to a trios match on Collision. Joe, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata accept their challenges, and apparently all the Japanese guys like saying bitch. So yeah, a bunch of we'll kick those bitches' asses or something like that. I forgot what he said. Oh my God. This was a segment that literally almost got me in trouble with my wife, and I'm sure a bunch of other men feel the same way. Maria May hosted a contract signing between Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa for Forbidden Door, where there is inevitably they're fighting over her before they both sign on the dotted line. That's when all of a sudden Saraya comes down, and it's her, Harley Cameron, and Anna Jay appears out of nowhere to attack. Storm comes down to fight everybody off with a shoe, tries to kill Saraya with this hip attack, but ends up going through this very sturdy table instead. Maria May and Mina watch from atop the stage, and it is... I have not been more intrigued for a match in all my days, and this maybe just be the man in me talking, but they are building this as a winner gets everything. Not only do you get the AEW Women's Championship, but you also get the lovely Maria May as well. So this is interesting. This is stardom written all over it, and I am all for it. So Chris Statlander defeats Nyla Rose in the Owen Hart tournament with a tombstone, a great tombstone, mind you. After the match, Willow Nightingale appears on the Tron and promises to see Chris Statlander in the semifinals after she defeats Serena Deeb on Rampage. So again, we could immediately get a blow-off match between them two, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Backstage, private party, talking with Renee. All of a sudden, Chris Jericho says that they cheated last week, and that's okay. So they're going to give him advice on their match against, and next week against, Grand Metalik and Commander, saying that we'll be watching your guys' match. And this fucking character, at least he's not screaming this week, but like every time he like wanted to like make a point, he's like looking at the camera like a goddamn fucking creepo. And it's, I don't know. I'm not loving this fucking Chris Jericho. I'm not hating it. It's very creepy. Very creepy. So Daniel Garcia defeats Rhett Titus with a double hook lung blower. Brian Cage with the Gates of Agony, along with Hechicero, come down to make the attack. That's when Daddy Magic tries to make some help. MJF comes down to try to make the save as well, but the numbers are way too much, and that's when Will Ospreay shows up. He helps MJF clear the ring. MJF and Will Ospreay bump into each other, go face to face, and absolutely building towards a match, possibly at All In. God only knows maybe for the International Championship. It could be something happening right there. Ospreay shows respect to Garcia, teasing a future title match between the two men. And I think that should happen at Forbidden Door, because who else would Will have? Unless there's somebody coming from Japan that's going to have Will, I think him and Danny Garcia need to happen ASAP. And in the main event, Pac gets a second main event, because I just talked about him on the Rampage. So he defeats Claudio Castagnoli to move on in the Owen Hart tournament. After a series of pinfall reversals after the match, Claudio refuses to shake the hand of Pac. Again, this was a super fun show for Dynamite. The anticipation building for Forbidden Door. We don't know if more guys are coming in. We do know that we have, I want to say 3 or 4 matches already set up, but there could be more. We do know Shota Umino, who was on Rampage, got a fractured hip. He's out 3-4 months easily, so he's looking to be replaced. We do know that the G1's happening soon. Takeshita's in the G1, for those that don't know. So Forbidden Door's looking crazy. Looking crazy. God only knows who else could be coming in. Again, CMLL guys, New Japan guys. Hell, maybe they might even throw AAA in there just to be some assholes.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I haven't actually watched Dynamite yet. Crazy night last night. But... Hey. Yeah, it reads like a great show. It reads like a go-home show, which isn't until next week.
Yeah, but we do got another couple of weeks. We got a week from Sunday, so got a couple, at least one more Dynamite before we get there. But again, if you're doing it this good this week, let's see how we go next week.
Yeah, and speaking of which, you just announced Dynamite and Collision in Cardiff the week before All In, which you couldn't have announced that sooner. Do you know how much easier it is to navigate Cardiff than it is London? And cheaper.
Cheaper. I was just going to say. I forget how much cheaper it is.
But at least this year I can say we went to Wembley. Maybe next year we'll go to Cardiff. Keep it simple.
Hey.
But Tony, if you're going to do Cardiff again, please announce it sooner.
Sooner.
Don't leave it till like fucking 2 months before the event, dude.
This guy, this Fulham guy, this guy.
The thing, like, from where I am, London is about as far away as Cardiff is, just in different directions. But Cardiff is so much easier to get to and so much easier to get around.
Oh, I can, trust me, I can almost, I don't want to say attest to this, but I've heard all the horror stories. So yeah, it's getting to London from anywhere outside of London is brutal.
Yeah, there's also no trains, so I gotta drive, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Nope.
But I digress. Like you heard earlier, I do have an announcement to make, which relates to Money Shot. So, speaking of driving, here you go. So I've been doing a lot of soul searching recently, and I think it's time that we were honest with ourselves and say that this has been, promo-wise, the worst year ever for the captain. This has been my John Cena's 2012. Just nothing but loss after loss after loss. Right after an immediate high, because last year was my fucking year. Last year was the year of the captain, the year of the TV champion, the year I made something relevant. And this year, well, this year's just been the complete opposite. I've gone from creating my own island of relevancy to being stranded on an island of irrelevancy. Lost a title that I coveted so much to one of my own, to Travis Anderson, right after I brought him into Dragon Club. Finally lost to Chris. And then my own goddamn lawyer goes and screws me out of said TV title. Wow. What a year. And you know what? Enough's enough. If I can borrow a quote from Beer, who borrowed the quote from the late great Owen Hart, enough is enough, and it's time for a change. I mentioned not so long ago that it'd be nice one day to reach a particular milestone. Because you see, I've sat back for the last 18 months and watched Cypher become world champion and make a name for himself. And then Teddy P also do the same thing, win the world title for the first time, make a name for himself. He's now sitting on top of the mountain. A mountain that I built because I was the first Max World Champion. Then I was the first 2-time Max World Champion. No, wait. No, I wasn't. I was the second 2-time champion because Feeney beat me to that milestone. Well, you know what? Feeney's not going to beat me to the next milestone. Nor Moses, nor Travis. See, we have an event coming up in just 2 weeks called Money Shot. Well, you know what? I'm calling my shot. It has been 18 long months since I held that world championship. And I'm feeling a little nostalgic. Because something's got to change. Like I said, enough's enough. It's time for a change. I have lost so much in Max Wrestling in the past 6 months that it is time to get back to being me. Time to get back to being the Capitan. So that's what's gonna happen. Money shot. 4th of July, I challenge Ted P. Dinero for the Max World Championship. So on the 4th of July, not only do we say fuck the Tories, but we also say fuck Dinero. And you know what? Maybe it's a little old-fashioned revenge on your Independence Day. I take one back for the Brits. Teddy P, I've called my shot. Now let's see if you can put your money where your mouth is. Bet you didn't see that one coming. So, Teddy, I will see you this Independence Day. But before we get to that, it is time to find out who will be the first finalist in the 2024 King of the Mic tournament. Will it be last year's runner-up Beer, or the former world champion and new tag team champion Cypher? Time to find out.
Midnight Raider, a mastermind persuader, dictator, deflator, just a ghost like vapor. Harry Potter cloak, disappearing like smoke. Independent and I vote, only hanging with the woke. Like, oh shit, man, where should we go? Maybe toward the mountains, yep, call me Banjo. That's my kind of people, man, from the fucking hills. Cause they do not play games, they don't try to fake real. That's what this nation needs, little old school.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to King of the Mic 2024. I'm your host, Cypher, and we're having a round of beer today. That's right. It's time to grab a seat and get ready, because this is about to be very, very entertaining. So first and foremost, my opponent today is someone I see a lot of myself in. Former tag team champion, NXT trivia madman, and also co-Iron Bank holder with yours truly, the pioneer, Jonathan Beer. Let's give him a round of applause, shall we? Or in across the pond, let's give him a pint, eh? So, Mr. Beer, back when I won the Lionheart, you said that this was something you wanted. This is something you wanted to have down the line. A match with me. I am flattered and I am honored, but listen here, Beer, this is not what you want. This is not exactly what you needed to sign up for, and this is why. You're rising through the ranks in the wrong type of way, and let me explain. See, I used to be just like you, Beer. Wanted to be accepted by everybody, just wanted to make friends, be nice, weak shit. And then I found out along the way, you can't do that. And I just got to tell you, Beer, you kissing the Dragons Club ass until you get into that illustrious club, it's kind of sad. Man, it's quite pathetic. Like, you're so stuck up the Dragons' ass so far that if one of them fart, you'll be the first one to tell us what they had for dinner 3 nights ago. Come on, Beer, you're better than that. You don't need the Dragon Club. I mean, hell, one of them's not even a dragon. He's a phoenix. Excuse me. But we'll get more into that later. This is about me and you. This is about how I can help you improve, I guess. Because I'm not trying to bury you, Beer. I'm trying to help you. I mean, Jesus Christ, son. How many times you gonna keep getting your ass beat by the 3 ninjas? Like, come on, bro. Rocky Colton Tonton has been beating your ass for weeks. making you forfeit matches, making you like miss important days, making you miss work, and all of a sudden it's all fine and dandy, you're just gonna let it slide? Beer, what the fuck are you doing? I always hear in your intro, well, enough is enough. It's time for a change. I tried to be a nice guy. Yeah, you know, we all know it. But I have not seen that from you. It's like you're almost intimidated by the fact that all these people are looking at you. And you're like one of those shy kids on stage that wets his pants when it's time for showtime, baby. The spotlight's on you, Beer, and I don't see why you can't get with the fucking program. I mean, maybe I'm reading too much into this, and maybe I'm running my mouth a little bit, but come on, Johnny Beer. Use your head. You're not getting in the Dragon Club. They don't want you. 'Cause they see the same thing I see. Someone who's afraid to do what it takes to get to the top. I mean, hell, you've seen it. Chad Malcolm and his luring ways, I mean, he finds loopholes for everything. The only thing Chad can't find a loophole for is winning the championship other than the TV title. Which I don't think he technically won that. I think he stole it. But, like I said, this is about me and you. I'm getting ahead of myself, Beer. You don't have the viciousness. You don't have the mental capability of attacking the game. So you're all about playing defense right now. And defensive players, they are the, how can I put this? They are the wall. They're the bridge. They're the stepping stones. They're the guys that go out front and take the bullet while the offensive get ready and attack the game and win the day. You see what I'm getting at here, Beer? They're out here playing chess. You're here simply playing Connect 4. And you know, Beer, until you learn that you can't always be a defensive player, you're not going to get anywhere. And unfortunately, you have the mishap of facing me in this tournament, which Moses will tell you. I'm not easy. I'm not like the same person I was years ago. I admit it, Beer. Years ago, I was the shy guy. Quiet, always smiling, being nice. Just wanted everybody to love me. But no, Beer, you can't do that shit. And quite frankly, you ain't nothing but a lizard when it comes to a Dragon Club. There are predators on this roster. Vicious animals who will devour you in your very existence. And I'm one of the top predators in this game. I am the king of Max Wrestling. I am a 2-time tag champ title holder. I am also, like I said, co-Iron Bank holder. And somehow, Beer, you managed to slip past me and get to the top. Well, you know what? It's fine. I don't see it as a major loss. Because come Promo Slam 9, there's always a plan B. And I think you know what I'm getting at. So, Beer, as I end this promo, and as I, give you this advice and, try to make sure you understand what you're getting into, I need you to understand, Beer. Quit being a bitch. Put on your big boy pants and start acting like you want this. Start acting like you are the shit. But that'd be expecting too much from you, Beer. It really would be. But ciao, baby. I gotta go celebrate my title win with my boy Travis, the coach, Anderson. Peace, baby.
Well, enough is enough. and it's time for a change. I tried to be a nice guy. I tried to play by your rules. You all turned your backs on me. I tried to be a nice guy.
Is there any reason for us to be upset? There's no reason. Last week, me and Bo, we lost the tag team championships. And I also lost my chance to become the Knowledge champion again. I was beaten fair and square, and I got no excuses. And I'm living up to the bill. That I will no longer challenge for the Knowledge Championship for 2 years. Like I said, I'm not someone who's going to make any excuses. I'm not someone who's going to fall apart or bundle under the pressure. The only thing that I got left is King of the Mic. Cypher, I got all the respect in the world for you. You're a good dude. You're my boy, my brother. And your accomplishments are endless. But as I said, it's nothing personal. It's just business. And you see, last week that Mr. Lawyer decided to no-show in our match, and it gave me a bye to go through to the next round. I didn't want to win that way, because I want to win fair and square. No forfeits and no bullshit. There's nothing more dangerous than a wounded animal. I've lost it all in the space of 7 fucking days. But there's only one way to get back to the top. Is redesign, rebuild, and reclaim. I've had a lot to deal with in these last couple of months. I've had a non-masquerus. I've had a lot of personal shit, but that's no excuse. And I was surprised. I'm surprised that things are just things that just aren't going my way right now. It just feels like shit after shit after fucking shit. And like I said, I'm not making no excuses. So Cypher, I'm sorry, man. I gotta do this. You see, the reward that you got last year was the most deserved thing that I've ever seen. You've been an inspiration to me, brother. But when you want to win, you need to win. Win, win, win at any cost. And this is what I'm gonna do. So with that being said, it's time to start from the bottom. I'm going to rise from the ashes. The resurrection of beer has only just begun.
All right. So the times are in, and this was a close one. So let's go over the time. Cypher comes in at 7 minutes, 34 seconds. Beer comes in at 3 minutes, 45 seconds, which actually, according to the rule books, by 49 seconds, a less than 50-second difference, Cypher is disqualified for going over. So that means Beer moves on, and he is our first finalist in this year's King of the Mic.
Very nicely played, Beer. Yes, traditionally the longest promo wins, unless the longer promo is 3 minutes more than the other promo. So, yeah, Cypher comes up just under a minute too long ahead of Beer, so Beer advances and will be in the King of the Mic final for the second consecutive year. Congratulations, Beer.
Good job, fella.
But we don't know who he will face until next week, and it could be one of 3 people. But before we get to that, thank you for joining us for Trivia Takeover Part 9 last week, and we are only 2 weeks away from our next Max event on the 4th of July with the first ever Money Shot, featuring predictions for the Canadian Money in the Bank.
Ooh, Triple Canadian, even though it's on the 4th of July. Last week at Trivia Takeover, I know Smash Bros. Announced that at Money Shot will feature the return of the Champions Mountain. 15 questions and 3 lifelines will decide the outcome of the Knowledge Championship. And we now know the defending champion will still be the Phoenix.
Love the Champions Mountain. Last year was when Chad faced Kenny Killer and became Knowledge Champion in the first ever Champions Mountain. So, see how it goes this year. Also last week, we heard Mike Larkin issued a challenge as he looks to capture the television championship from the lawyer, Chad Malcolm, on his birthday.
Bastard.
And Unmasker also announced that all TV rules promos must now be at least 3 minutes, so no more shenanigans from the lawyer.
Loopholes are out. And as announced earlier, the captain has issued a challenge of his own, and he looks to become the first ever 3-time Max Wrestling World Champion, competing for this title for the first time since he lost it 18 months ago. He looks to challenge our current champion, Ted P. Dinero. Can he take down the glitch in the system?
I've done it before. And of course, we will see the grand final of the King of the Mic tournament. The winner will become the first ever Max Dual Champion. And as we found out moments ago, Beer is the first finalist, but who will he face? We find out next week in a triple threat semi-final match between Chris Reed, Charisma, and the Phoenix. Go to maxwrestlingnet.weebly.com/moneyshot for more information.
Do that, click it right now.
Moving on finally to our last couple of segments, and we kick it off with some more fun stuff as we call somebody a bellend. With the bellend board.
Fucking happy twat.
A bellend, you're a bellend, mate. Look, bellend 1, bellend 2, big veiny bellend over here.
Fucking hell. Sports Kita, for sure. Like, if we didn't do it last week, they're getting it this week for goddamn sure. What the like? How do you put this shit out? I even forgotten Homeboy's name, but he's for 7 years. For 7 years, he's been giving up the content for the E. Hoy. All bad, and then some for sure. So it's not where the money.
How many points for I forgot his first name, but Banerjee?
That was his last name, Banerjee, whatever the hell his name. Give them all a fucking. Let's see how many. He's 7 years. 5 points. 35 points.
All right, 35 points for your stupid clickbait shit.
5 points for every year you've been at fucking Sportskeeda.
Any other bellends this week?
Really trying to think. Honestly, just you know what? I didn't talk about the internet community negatively when it came down to the Wyatt Sick6 debuting. So to the negative side of the IWC, which 9 times out of 10 is just IWC, I'm gonna give him 5 for all the stupid comments talking about, oh well, this isn't paying good tribute to Bray Wyatt or all this other crap. And trust me, Beer was sending me multiples of these fucking nerds. Just enjoy it for what it is. It is a tribute to Bray. It's a tribute to Luke. It's a tribute to all of these guys. So be happy. Enjoy it for what it is, or fuck right off.
Yeah. Speaking of one that Beer sent us, meant to address on Shit Mac say, but you're gonna get bellend points anyway, Mr. Mac. Oh my Mac.
Mm-hmm.
He said Wyatt family gimmick died with Bray and Brody. Disgusting that they're trying to do this. Period. But it honors Bray. Fuck no. You do know that's Bray's brother, right, Mac?
I guess not. He probably doesn't. You know, he probably is like the same dude that tells you know that the Undertaker and Kane are real brothers, right? These guys are real brothers. They're real brothers. Fuck.
Obviously, Bo wanted to do this.
Yeah, exactly. This is nobody twisted his arm. He's trying to pay tribute to his brother. Hell, he was trying to be a part of the gimmick when his brother was around. What the fuck, man?
You dumbass, mate, Mac.
You dumbass. No, you dumbass, mate. Facts.
All right, so is he included in IWC or are we giving?
No, give him his own goddamn points.
Give him his own slot.
5 just for that was because that's just pathetic.
Oh, my Mac, you get 5 points. IWC is now on 27.
You guys suck.
Which is 1 point above Ric Flair, 3 points below Dwayne.
Oh God.
Did we give Dwayne 30 points in 1 week for the whole Royal Rumble shit?
I think so. We may have. I want to say we were pretty pissed about some of the shit.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the direction they were going to go, and it made no sense. But he redeemed himself, so it's good. All right, then let's find out who's been bruvs this week with the bruv board. Bruv.
Bruv it up.
Brother.
Very simply, 30 points to Bo Dallas for bringing this gimmick back to life and continuing the legacy of Bray, like we've been saying. 30 points right out the gate.
Right out
awesome
the gate.
debut.
Love that.
Gimmick looks good. I'm excited for it.
Fuck yeah.
Also, because you finally debuted, I no longer have to hear about fucking QR codes every week.
Yes.
Sorry, beer.
That's sorry.
Also, 10 points to Joe Hendry for getting some exposure on NXT. I know we talked shit earlier on about NXT not really doing much for TNA, but I genuinely saw people who are E-drones on that clip and be like, I don't know who this guy is. And everybody's like, it's Joe Hendry.
It's Joe Hendry.
You just got to believe in Joe Hendry. So people now are finding out who Joe Hendry is, and that's good.
You have to believe.
And just the look on his face when he turned around and he realized everybody knew who he was in the building. They were all singing along to his song. They all knew the words. And this is a guy who is on TV in what did I say? Number 127 on cable.
Yeah.
Every week.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. On a fucking cable show that's on the fucking bottom end of the spectrum.
10 points to Joe Hendry. Can't really think of anybody else that stood out. So we'll leave it at that. 40 points on the bruv board.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. I hope we rocked you harder than Justin Timberlake's breathalyzer.
Holy shit. Don't check his blood.
And before we close this up, let's find out what Host Mo and the TSK have for you Pencil Neck Geeks with a roundup of Click This.
Good God. Well, first and foremost, I think some of the TSK kind of want to party with the JT, but he's incarcerated at the current time being, so that's not going to happen. As of right now, the only plan the boys got happening is we do want to do a Forbidden Door review. We were going to try to do a Clash at the Castle, kind of fell through. So we do want to try to take care of the AEW side, especially when Forbidden Door is going to happen. So expect that one coming out in a couple of weeks. The footy is mad. However, the lads are busy. So with that being said, I think it's time to take control back into my own hands. It's time to go back to doing what I do best, but it will still be the Max Footy Pod. But there's a lot of rumors happening. There's rumors coming from the MLS. There's rumors coming in from Spurs. There's rumors coming from everywhere. Plus the Euros are happening. The Euros, Copa America starts this weekend. The footy is mad in my house. It is absolutely mad. So be on the lookout for some Max Footy, even if it's Solo Jones. And, of course, not this Sunday, not this following Monday. In a couple of weeks, the TSK will be back to hit y'all with some Forbidden Door. And just to give some plug to my man Harold, I do know that he's finishing up his international travels. as he hit Italy and Barcelona and some other cool ass places. I do know he's going to have an awesome episode of the TSK Adventures coming up soon. So again, got to follow us all everywhere to figure out how to do all that. And to follow us everywhere, you got to hit all the links, all the fun socials, all the evil Twitter machines. You do the Max Wrestling UK, Captain 512, at the SMR Pod Net, and of course the Max Footy Pod, or the Max Football Pod. I'm over here messing it up because I want it to sound cool, but it's Max Football Pod. Check out the Max Wrestling website, maxwrestlingnet.weebly.com. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, follow button, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Definitely come to Facebook. Definitely come to TikTok. Come check us out. Come hang out with us. Come be a part of this interactive group that we are, and even you can be a part of the game.
Yeah, and speaking of extra content, obviously House of the Dragon has returned for season 2. You can expect some Throne Zone very soon. We were going to get you the first episode this week, but we might start next week with a recap of the first 2 episodes as opposed to just the first one. But we'll see how it goes. We'll try and get you some Throne Zone real soon as I reunite with my rival from all of last year, Mr. DC.
Yeah.
But that's it.
The Throne Zone.
That's it for us this week. Join us next week for Forbidden Door predictions and our second out of 2 semifinals in the King of the Mic is a triple threat as Chris Reed takes on Charisma and the Phoenix on our go home show to Money Shot.
Oof.
Already, these events come thick and fast after Promomania.
Yes, they do.
You've been watching the Cap and Mo. Goodbye. Mwah, and good night. Bye.
Slow down. We're getting too fast. Too much happening.
How many events?